The snow had started falling before sunrise, drifting across the Wyoming plains like handfuls of sifted flour tossed by an unseen baker. The Carter Ranch lay still beneath the weight of winter, fences half buried, pine trees bending under white blankets, and smoke curling from the chimney in soft gray threads. Inside, warmth clung to the wooden walls like a memory, one built from laughter, the smell of cinnamon, and the echoes of years when Christmas didn't feel so hollow. But that was before the letter that never came, before the woman who never arrived, before the ranch's heart slowly learned to beat around an emptiness he never dared confess aloud. Elias Carter stood at the kitchen window, mug in hand, watching the heavy flakes dance. His shoulders, broad from years of ranch work, felt heavier this morning. Christmas Eve had a way of doing that. The sky looked like it too, carrying something unsaid, as if even the clouds understood. The strange ache of waiting for someone who might not ever come. Behind him, small footsteps padded across the wooden floor. "Pa," a sleepy voice murmured. Elias turned to see his 8-year-old daughter. Lily, her hair tangled in soft curls, oversized flannel shirt nearly reaching her knees. She rubbed her eyes and looked up at him. Is she coming today? There it was. The question he feared and expected every morning for the last 2 months. Beside her, Ben, 10 years old, quiet and thoughtful, joined her at the table. He didn't speak. He rarely did when the topic came up. He simply stared at the empty chair they kept by the window, the one he'd secretly polished yesterday, the one Lily had decorated with a little wreath made of pine needles and red yarn. Elias swallowed. "Kids, we talked about this." Lily's small voice cracked. "But every Christmas miracle starts with hope, Pa. You said so." He sighed and pulled her into his side. "Yeah, sweetheart, I did." And he meant it. He wanted to believe it. Needed to believe it. But the truth was harsher than the winter outside. Months ago, Elias had signed up with an agency, a reputable one, or so he thought, to bring a mail-order bride to the ranch. Not out of desperation, but out of a yearning he buried under responsibility. A partner, a friend, a woman who would bring warmth back into the house his late wife once filled with sunlight. The kids got excited. They cleaned the house. They wrote tiny welcome notes. Lily even made a paper crown for when she joins our Christmas pictures. But the woman, her name was Anna, never arrived. Her last letter had been full of gratitude, excitement, and talk of the life she hoped to build. And then silence. No reply, no message, no trace. For 2 long months, Elias checked the mailbox every day, sometimes twice, each time walking back slower than the last. Then he stopped looking. The kids didn't. And because of that, the chair stayed. By mid-morning, the ranch woke to its usual rhythm. The cattle needed checking, the horses needed hay, and the barn door, blasted thing, needed fixing again after the last storm. Elias wrapped his scarf and coat, preparing to step out into the biting cold. Ben tugged at his sleeve. "Pa, can I come with you? I want to see if the road's cleared. Maybe she got stuck somewhere." Elias froze. The hope in his son's eyes felt like a secret dagger, sharp, innocent, unintentional. "Ben, the roads are bad. And Anna, well, we don't know anything for sure. That's why we gotta check," Ben insisted. "What if nobody helped her?" Elias crouched down, looking him straight in the eyes. "Son, I know you want this, I do too. But sometimes grown-ups make promises they can't keep. Sometimes letters stop coming. Sometimes people change their minds." Ben bit his lip, eyes brimming but refusing to spill tears. "But she promised she'd come before Christmas." "I know," Elias whispered. "And maybe she had a reason. Maybe she—" He stopped, because truthfully he didn't know. And maybe part of him didn't want to know. They headed out into the snow, father and son, boots crunching into frozen drifts. The wind knifed through their coats, with the sharpness of a memory trying to be forgotten. They checked the fence lines, cleared ice from troughs, and shoveled the path. But Ben's eyes kept flicking toward the road. Every few minutes he would pause and stare at the horizon. Cheeks red from cold, eyelashes fluttering with frost. Elias pretended not to notice. He couldn't stand breaking the boy's heart. Not today. Inside, Lily baked cookies with all the determination a child could muster. Flour dusted her hair, her face, even her tiny nose. She hummed Christmas songs off-key, occasionally glancing at the empty chair with a stubborn expectation that bordered on pure faith. "She'll like these," Lily whispered to herself. Everyone likes cookies. At noon, she carried a plate to the window, placing it carefully on the table beside the chair, her smile soft, hopeful. Then she whispered something only the chair could hear. "I made them for you, just in case." The day dragged on with a heavy stillness, the kind that wrapped around the ranch like quiet grief. Elias returned from the fields exhausted, but he tried to hide it. He dusted snow from his hair, untied his boots, and stepped into the warm glow of the house. "Pa!" Lily rushed to him. "Did you see her? Did you see a stagecoach or a truck or anything?" "No, sweetheart. Not today." Her little face sank, the light dimming just a bit but not extinguished. "Never extinguished." "Maybe tonight," she whispered. Ben didn't look up from the chair he was staring at. Evening settled early, as winter evenings always do. The family gathered near the fire, its flames crackling softly. Stockings hung along the mantel. A tiny tree, small but decorated with more love than ornaments, glimmered with soft yellow lights. Elias sat down with a sigh. "Kids, can we talk for a minute?" They turned to him wide-eyed. His chest tightened. "I know you both are waiting for Anna. I know you saved a chair for her. But sometimes life doesn't give us the answers we want. And maybe this Christmas, it'll just be us." A long silence followed. Lily blinked, her lower lip trembling. "But we saved her a spot, Pa." Ben whispered. "We waited for her." "I know," Elias said softly. "And I'm proud of you for having such big hearts. But we can't." A sudden knocking at the door cut him off. 3 loud, sharp knocks. The children gasped. Elias's heartbeat stumbled. He rose slowly. "Pa?" Lily whispered, grabbing Ben's hand. The knocking came again, louder this time. Elias approached the door, each step heavy. The wind howled outside, pushing against the hinges. His hand hovered over the handle, breath unsteady. Who would be out here in this storm? A neighbor? A traveler? A stranger? Or... He opened the door. A blast of snow swirled in, curling around the silhouette of a woman standing on the porch, wrapped in a worn coat, cheeks red from cold, suitcase at her feet. Her eyes lifted. "Mr. Carter?" she whispered, voice trembling. I'm so sorry I'm late." Elias froze. The kids gasped. The chair by the window seemed to glow. She stepped inside, shaking snow from her hair, exhaustion etched in every line of her face. "My name is Anna," she said softly, "and I've been trying to get here since the first storm hit." Lily burst into tears. Ben's mouth fell open. Elias felt his throat tighten with 1,000 unspoken emotions. Anna looked at the empty chair, and then at the children. "You saved me a seat," she whispered. Lily nodded vigorously, tugging her hand. "We kept it just for you." "Every day." Anna's eyes glistened with tears she couldn't contain. "No one has ever saved a place for me before." Elias swallowed hard. "We weren't sure you were still coming. I almost didn't make it," she admitted, voice cracking. "But hope has a way of pulling you through the storm." She smiled, a small, tired, radiant smile. "But if you'll still have me, I'm here now." Elias exhaled, a breath he'd been holding for months. "Anna!" he whispered. "Welcome home." The children rushed to her, hugging her tightly. Snow melted on the floor, but no one cared, not tonight. Christmas Eve had finally delivered what they'd waited for. Not perfectly, not easily, but in the most miraculous way, and the empty chair was empty no longer.